Well, here we are, May 7th, 2016, in Cosmopolitan, Penticton, British Columbia, at our hometown game, Let Them Eat Skate. We've got hometown Penticton Pistoleras squaring up against the visiting team from Armstrong, BC, the Derby Dolls. So it looks like we're going to get the game underway in a moment here. We're going to run through a quick demo as announced by our live announcer, our PA here.
These ladies are going to stop the two jammers. Say hi, jammers.
Hi, jammers.
Hi, jammers. From getting through the pack. So when Mean Beans whistles his jam start, the jam will start, and the jammers are going to try and make their way through the pack.
Now, what are they jamming for?
Well, right now they're jamming for the position of lead jammer.
Okay.
So lead jammer is awarded to the first jammer who exits the pack, which is number 26.
Yeah.
And they're going to race around the pack, and they're going to now score points on this pass.
What's the referee doing?
The referee is pointing at the lead jammer, and she's going to count her points, for which she has scored 4 points.
All right.
Now, the lead jammer can call the jam off at any point in time, and if there are no lead jammers, jams go for 2 whole minutes.
Wow.
So here they are again, coming up for points. And that's another 4 points for both teams. If Penticton's jammer wants to call it off, she's going to call it off by tapping her hips. You're going to hear a lot of whistles, and then 30 seconds later, we line it up and do it again.
So I have a question from the audience. This comes from Bob Johnson. Bob Johnson wants to know if headbutts are legal if toes are dragging.
That's highly frowned upon and very illegal.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we're going to get underway for realsies now.
Yep.
On the line, we have
All right, so now we got the game underway here, and as you heard from the demo, if you're new to roller derby, the one to watch when you're first getting into the sport is the jammer. She's the one with the star in her helmet. So as we've got through Penticton Pistoleras in the black, jammer number 26, I believe that's Hellcat. She's made it through, got lead jammer, and already picked up 5 points. 1 point for each blocker that she's passed, and 1 point for, oh, nice hit, and 1 point for lapping the other jammer. She took a big hit, falling to the outside of the track. Because she had lead jammer, she could tap her hips and call it off. No rush to get up. She had the power to call off that jam. So the whole game is broken down into 2 30-minute halves, broken down into shifts of 2 minutes called jams. The jam can be called off at any time by the lead jammer if she has that privilege. And then we start a whole new one. 5 new skaters from each team will join the track. So we got the jammers up against strong 4 walls, both of them fighting to get out for their initial pass. Nice bump out. Risa from the Penticton Pistoleras in the black, getting knocked to the outside. Has found some competition with Born to Hula. Risa Lightning for the Penticton Pistoleras getting lead jammer. We've got number 14, Gurley, still trying to get through the pack on her initial first pass. Risa Lightning taking a spill after some fancy spin moves. And the pivot gets called off for a low block. So she gets to go spend some time in the in the penalty box for 30 seconds. Risa Lightning hits the back of the pack and spins off. Nice clear by her Penticton Pistoleras in the front, picking up 5 more points. And it looks like the jammer for the Derby Dolls in the purple she got called off. I didn't see what penalty, but now Penticton, they're on a power jam. So that means that they're the only team that's able to score any points. So they'll try to keep it nice and slow and give their jammer an opportunity to pass as many times as possible and to score as many points as possible.
With the Okanagan Derby Dolls jammer in the box with the beginning of the next jam, the Pistoleras are at a huge strategic advantage.
Yeah, so for about the next 30 seconds here, Grimm, Penticton is going to keep it nice and slow. As slow as possible.
The key to that is slowing down both packs so that your jammer can keep from wearing herself out and just lap as many times as possible. If you have a slow pack, she can slam right through everybody, and she would be number 902 for the Penticton Pistoleras.
Yeah, she's Oliver Fist. She's visiting from the Corona League and just racking up the points. So there's 5 points to her and lead jammer.
One of the fantastic elements about Derby is its community sport and its community spirit. And so if you don't have enough players to maybe pull off a full team, it's really easy to call someone up from another league and say, hey, let's play. And you've got a bout going on with a bunch of different local girls.
All right. Gnarly takes a shoulder to the face. Well, not to the face. I was being dramatic, but she took one right to the chest and knocked her A over TK. We've got some really fast skaters going on. The majority of the skaters together, it's called the pack. And ideally, you want to keep your pack on the slower side. It's easier to control your blockers on your team. It's easier to control what the other jammer's doing. And it looks like Gnarly, she's been called off for a cut track. A cut track penalty means she's skated out of bounds and passed someone that she was not supposed to pass. So she'll go spend another 30 seconds. Penticton in the black, they're going to be getting the benefit of another 30-second power jam and starting with it on top of it. All right, so it looks like we're having an official review. Head NSO, NSO is a non-skating official. Head NSO Mean Bean is standing in the middle of the track. She's not flexing or showing off. She's doing her little teapot dance to indicate that we're having a timeout. Official timeout is so the refs can have a chat about maybe a recent call or maybe about, does anyone see where my whistle went? I had my whistle right here. Meanwhile, we might as well talk a little bit more about the rules here. So we did talk in the demo about the skaters who are on the track. Each team, penalties notwithstanding, each team will put out 4 blockers and 1 jammer. The jammer has the star on their helmet. The blockers will use their entire bodies to try and stop the opposing jammer from getting through and scoring points. You score a point for each blocker that you pass as a jammer.
You will also notice a striped helmet cover, or as we informally refer to as a penticton cover. Oh, wow, what a hit. So the striped helmet cover belongs to the pivot. They are a subset of a blocker. They kind of manage their team, part of the pack, and they are eligible to actually become a jammer. If the jammer of that team chooses to pass off the helmet cover, they can take it. And it's not very commonly done. You would lose lead jammer in that instance, but there are, of course, strategic advantages to that as well. If your jammer's getting tired, there's that option to pass it off.
Derby Dolls jammer back on the track from the penalty box. Looks like Hellcat for Penticton in black. She's just been knocked off the track, had to recycle all the way back to the pack, to the back of the pack so that she would avoid a penalty. Hellcat picking up point after point after point. That's, I think, a 10-point jam for her so far. Wow, like a hot knife through butter. It's like the Derby Dolls didn't even look over their shoulders to see where that jammer was. Derby Dolls lining up. Oh, nice. Derby Dolls lined up and pushed the entire Penticton team to the outside of the track so that their jammer could get through.
There we have what looks like the Penticton jammer calling the jam off as she saw the opponent, Okanagan Derby Dolls jammer, approaching the pack. She didn't see the likeliness of getting around the pack again to score more points, so it didn't make sense to give the opponent the opportunity.
Exactly. That's we like to call that like a nickel and dime or a hit it and quit it. So you look behind you, you see, is it worth maybe scoring 4 more points if they're going to get 4 points too? Do I want to spend that energy? Usually the answer is going to be no. Wow, so far you just saw the score up on your screen. It's 52 unanswered points for the hometown Penticton Pistoleras.
The Derby Dolls are at 0 points right now, and I'm not seeing a lot of potential for them in this jam as we've got lead jammer Risa Lightning, number 13 for the Pistoleras, lapping the pack, and she has no signs of slowing down.
Yeah, both teams kind of looking like a dog's breakfast out there, just all over the place. Both, wow.
Beautiful.
And Risa is taking advantage of that chaos to just fire right through that path. Excellent. We've got Shady Lady for the Derby Dolls making through her pack on her initial pass, scoring no points. But I think we got 9 points for Penticton on that one. So Penticton is really shining right now. They're doing a wonderful job of doing defense and offense at the same time. They're making chaos in the pack so that their jammer can get through, but at the same time, they're playing excellent defense and making sure that the purple jammer from the Derby Dolls cannot. So we got, for the Okanagan Derby Dolls in purple, we've got Brick Hithouse doing the first jam for the night, and that huge push is why they call her Brick Hithouse. You can tell by the way she skates, she's got some really deep hockey background.
Another beautiful thing about this sport is the differences between people's skill sets. Brick Hithouse is going to be an amazing jammer, but not necessarily for the same reason that we saw Risa Lightning earlier. She's going to hit hard and put up a big fight, maybe not necessarily sliding through that. And there's the big hits we're talking about. It's almost impossible to shove her out of the way, although I see a penalty. What was that for?
I didn't see what that penalty was. I'm wondering if it maybe was a back block. It's hard to tell. Sometimes it's hard to tell the angles. But she'll spend 30 seconds in the box. Oliver Fisk for the Pistoleras. She'll hit the track on a power jam again.
Getting a lot of examples of these power jams. Oh.
We got Scullywag Pirate going off for a forearm. That was a quick 30 seconds. We've got Brick Hithouse back on the track. Whoa, big hit.
808 is really fighting hard against the jammer. She was pushed out, so she had to go back behind the rest of the pack, or else she's going to get a cut.
Oh my goodness, Brick, where have you been? This is going to be an early game saver for the Derby Dolls. This huge jam. She has lost her ability to be lead jammer as she did serve a 30-second penalty. She did earn that at the very beginning of the jam.
So without a lead jammer, after losing her eligibility, that means the jam has to run for the full 2 minutes.
Full 2 minutes. And that's a fun thing that we say in roller derby. You can do anything for 2 minutes, but this is the longest 2 minutes that you may ever experience. That was a wonderful jam. I'm taking a look at the scoreboard. Looks like we've got 24 to 68. So that was a great big 24-point jam. We've got Penticton, I believe.
Timeout or a team timeout?
It looks like it may be an official review or an official timeout. We've got Mean Bean in the middle there doing the teapot dance.
Now, there's going to be a couple of reasons that they're going to stop the game. The team's captain can choose to do a sort of huddle, and they're going to call a team timeout. However, they can also put up a petition against a call if they have an issue with it. They can come to the officials and discuss it. So you're going to have an official review. If they decide, we're all sort of a democracy here. If they decide that the team was,
And there we've got on the replay, we've got Brick Hithouse just firing through the pack. The rules of contact in roller derby are very similar to hockey. So that means no elbows, no headbutts, no hitting to the head, and no hitting to the back or tripping. Now, when Brick Hithouse, she comes through the pack, her aim is so amazing and her strength is so immense that she fires in and she hits people on the shoulder in a legal target zone and just sends them flying. It's really quite the sight to see. I can't wait to see her jam a little bit later on in the game. All right, we've got some amazing backwards blocking at the front of the pack.
sounds like that might have actually become a
Oh no, and
penalty.
we've got Gnarly off the track again.
I think everyone at home now knows what that's called. That's a power jam for the
That is
Penticton
a power jam,
Pistoleras.
yeah.
I believe we have 26 Hellcats skating for them. Hopefully they can really take advantage. Right now she's struggling behind that strong wall.
Yes, it looks like awesome. So the Derby Dolls look like they're starting to get their defense together. Maybe they got their jitters out. Excellent. Born to Hula pushing out Hellcat to the outside, recycling to the very back of the pack. She can skate a maximum of 20 feet away from the pack.
That's going to require the Pistoleras jammer Hellcat to follow her all the way back, and it just costs her valuable seconds, especially during a power jam.
Yeah, and like every second counts in a power jam.
As you can see, the Okanagan Derby Dolls jammer is already released and ready to be back at it after a 30-second
Yeah,
break.
that was a wonderful power jam kill because Hellcat for Penticton in black, she only managed to get through once before Gnarly was back on the track. I think Gnarly's got
Did we just get a pen?
We just got it. Yeah, you're absolutely
Sorry.
right. You're right. So we just had a star pass. So a star pass is when the jammer is like, wow, I'm really not doing well here. Pivot, you with the stripe on your helmet, you need to jam for me because I'm not being an asset to the team. So the jammer hands the panty, the helmet cover, with the star on it directly to their pivot, the one who has a stripe helmet cover, and they become the new jammer.
If the jammer's not quite feeling up to it, that's a great idea. However, they can't score points until the pivot has that helmet cover on their head, stars showing. So there's a lot of risk in it too.
Yeah, there's a lot of risk. You can lose the opportunity to get 4 or 5 points if you do that star pass. So Risa Lightning for the Pistoleras in black. She gets lead jammer. Oh, we've got, looks like we had a head bounce off the concrete there for Shady Lady, but she is up and she's speeding to the penalty box. And that's the jammer for the Derby Dolls. So we got another PJ. I feel like we're familiar enough with power jams now to call them PJs. Wow, nice move by Risa.
Risa's
Yes.
the one to take advantage of this situation. She's just going to fly right through the defense.
That is some serious ankle power. She uses her edges on the outside there. And she might be little, but she's got that angle working for her, so she's hard to push out. Nice.
And she slips right through again and calls it off.
Risa says that's enough for me right now. Yep. The Derby Dolls jammer is standing in the box. When they stand in the box, that means they've got 10 or fewer seconds left to serve in their penalty. So that is enough of an opportunity for the Pistoleras to get their jammer through and to pick up that coveted lead jammer. Not sure what we saw just there with some knees hitting the ground. Oh, and we've got Ramrod. I believe she was called off for a back block, and that was that push that we saw where there's some kerfluffle on the jam line there. That's where they start the jam.
So we finally got a power jam in favor of the Derby Dolls. Let's see what they do with it.
Shady Lady getting a little bit close to the announcer's booth here, though, but she is getting recycled to the back of the pack. She's going to have to depend on her girls in purple to help her out. Nice.
She found a spot on the inside to just jump right through.
Perfect. So that was her scoring pass. She picked up 5 points for that. Shady Lady stopping at the back of the pack to see what her blockers were going to do. Help them out a little bit to block the other jammer. Unfortunately, she did miss her opportunity to make it through to the front of the pack. Oh, little sandwich there, a little shady sandwich. Got Ramrod making up for that penalty she got. Picking up 5 points. Shady Lady asking her jam ref if she can call it off, but she cannot.
That means this is going to run for the full 12 minutes.
Pretty epic slide check there from captain of the Derby Dolls, Di Sharona. Unfortunately, that's not legal, as entertaining as it is. I don't mind if she does that a few more times. It makes me smile.
It's funny, you think that Di Sharona would know a little better. She's actually refereed and officialed a lot. She should really know the rules. She was with us at our last bout back in April, officiating.
Yeah, and she is quite an accomplished ref, too. She's been playing and reffing for years. However, as we all know, any athlete knows that knowing the rules and abiding by the rules are very, very different creatures. All right, so we've got a replay there. Shady Lady taking a punishment from the Penticton Pistoleras, making it to the front of the pack. All right, so the jam is on. Here we see 26 Hellcat for the Penticton Pistoleras in black, making it through, but she's got an Okanagan Derby Doll hot on her trail. She calls it off. Let's see, it looks like it was a 2-2 jam, so that was even. So it was a good call by Hellcat. She knew that that the jammer was right behind her, so she wanted to hit it and quit it, get as many points as she could, and call it off.
If you ever get lost on who the
Jammer, pivot. Yeah. We'll be back with that thought in just a moment, but right now we've got Risa Lightning in black, making it for lead jammer, Brick Hit House. She came in like a wrecking ball, and she left like one, too. Good call by Risa Lightning. Again, Brick Hit House. It sounds like I have a crush on her. Maybe I kind of do. Her strength is just so incredible that when she comes through the pack, you can't help but worry a little bit about your well-being. She is, however, saying that she is a very clean player, and you know, I've seen her take a couple of penalties like all of us. And she's got amazing aim, so she knows what she's doing. So it looks like we've got another official timeout here. Penticton Pistoleras with 115, visiting Derby Dolls with 43. It's been about 2 or 3 jams where the Pistoleras have been gaining points unanswered by the Derby Dolls. We've got Lord Voldatron on the Penticton bench wearing a lovely book hat. Oh no, it's an ice pack. Oh, okay. Lord Voldatron, obviously a play on names of Lord Voldemort from the Harry Potter series. I thought maybe she had a lucky book that she would bring.
I think the Pistoleras have a lot of luck tonight and probably more skill too.
So the Pistoleras have picked up, they've picked up about 4 or 5 skaters from neighboring leagues, but they have just an incredibly strong core of skaters. And those are the ones that we've seen jam tonight is their regular core of skaters.
Looks like we've got a fresh jammer on the track. That is number 1939, Blitzcraig, the first jam of the night, and it looks like she has lead jammer. If you're ever forgetting who your lead jammer is for that particular jam, you can take a look at the refs. The jammers are so important that each one gets their own referee that's watching for penalties and will indicate if they're lead or not lead jammer.
Blitzkrieg at the back, not finding a friend in Hula.
So she calls it off.
And calls it off. Hula was all over that jammer like flies on honey. His honey is so much more appealing.
Then what, Derby Sweat?
Then a whole bunch of other things, that's true. I was thinking about something else. More appealing than the other things that flies like. All right, new jam, new story. So we've got Penticton getting lead jam Hellcat again. Hellcat's on fire tonight.
But we've got the Okanagan Derby Dolls, 2013, hot behind her. Now, this wonderful player is actually coming from Fort Mac. She was
Nice call by Hellcat there, calling it off before Gorilla Zacotes could make it up on her. Sorry to interrupt.
But yeah, Gorilla Dakotes, she was playing with the league until she moved up to Fort McMurray. It was going to be her first bout with her new team, the Tarzan Betties, tonight. So the league, with all that Derby love, invited her to come play with them at the last minute. And now she's back on the track. One way to get your worries behind you, if only for an hour.
Yeah, absolutely. With all what's happening in Fort McMurray now, she did come down here. I don't know if she was evacuated, but she did come down here. The girls heard about it, and they're like, hey, get your mind off it. Just like you said, get your mind off it. Come play with us. Oh,
as you can tell, it's a big stress relief. I mean,
nice hit on the outside from
look at that
Scully.
aggression coming out.
Oh, my goodness. So we got Uzi Q, 45 RPM. She's called off for a penalty, but we've got Brick Hithouse still as lead jammer.
Lisa Lightning hot behind her.
Brick Hithouse at the front. You know, she's not just strong, she's fast too. So she is the whole Derby package. Maybe I do have a crush on her. Oh my gosh. Dear Brick, do you like me? Yes, no. Taking a look at the replay here. Got Brick Hithouse fighting through the front there. Oh, just pushing her way through, moving those feet. So we've got the jam starting here. The jam has started, but we are taking a slow start here.
We've got Blitzcraig for the Pistoleras jamming again, number 1939.
Big push to the outside. Oh, we have no pack call. The refs throw their arms in the air, and it's a no pack situation. That means you can't keep hitting, and I think that's what the Pistolera. Oh, two of them. We got Shady Lady and Cruella DeVille from the Pistoleras. They continued to make contact after the no pack was called. So it's got a penalty heavy jam going on here.
Definitely strategic advantage for the Derby Dolls right now. There are 2 in the box with the Pistoleras, although they just lost their pivot. The Derby Dolls just lost their pivot. It's looking a little bit light on the track.
We've got Shady Lady with the Derby Dolls. She is lead jammer. I think now would be an ideal time for her to call it off.
And there she goes.
Shady Lady doing the monkey instead of simply tapping her hips to call off the jam.
Whatever gets your ref's attention.
Exactly.
The game is not, the jam isn't actually over when they tap their hips. That's not good enough. Their jam ref has to see it, call it, and at the end of the 4 whistle blows, that's when the points stop being scored. So if you don't call it fast enough, and the opponent jammer can come through during those last 4 whistles, she does still get the points that she gets after passing.
Absolutely.
So you have to be quick, and you have to get the eye of your jam ref.
Yes, awesome. We've got Gorilla Z Coates. Oh, another slide check there. I think I know who's going to the box for a low block. But Hellcat
breaks right through.
And unfortunately, the 2 blockers in the box making a big difference.
Call off from 2013 for the Derby Dolls. They had the lead jammer for that.
Okay, so the Derby Dolls are starting in with the power jam with Brick Hit House as the jammer. And that was the result of the official review, much to the benefit of the Derby Dolls.
As she gets lead jammer right off the bat.
Surprise!
She's pushing hard, using all that strength that you might not necessarily expect from your jammer. And we've got skater Blitzcraig, 1939 for the Pistoleras with a penalty. However, that also signals the release of their jammer, 26 Hellcat. We've seen what she can do. Now it's up to Brick Hit House for the Derby Dolls to call it off. I have no idea what got the rest of her teammates on the floor there, but it does not matter. She's blasting right through the Pistoleras without their help.
So Hellcat right on Brick Hit House's tail. Nice, perfect, 1-foot call.
Beautiful pass through the inside, right on the edge of her skate, and they allowed it. And then with that, she calls it off, gives herself a bit of a break, a well-deserved one.
So just as we were saying earlier, it's the littlest things can make the biggest difference in the scores.
Some other bodies that you're seeing on the track in black are your NSOs. We talked about the non-skating officials. Just because of how much is going on in this sport, they keep track of penalties, of scores.
Oh, we've got some jammer on jammer action. Shady Lady in purple for the Okanagan Derby Dolls.
And she doesn't want to fight. She calls it off with a friendly butt slap. It's all friendly around here. At the end of the day, you just build up love for the people that you're hitting.
That's perfect. I'm going to get a tattoo. Roller derby, you just build up love for the people that you're hitting.
Do not apply that to other areas of your life, folks. It's a very unique love that is in roller derby.
Do not. I tried that at the bank. It doesn't work. All right, so it looks like we're just about done with the period. We've got about 2.5 minutes left.
With the intermission, that will give the team time to discuss why they're getting all these power jams, what's going on, and how they can adjust their strategy against their opposing team. We've got Risa Lightning jamming for the Pistoleras, shoving hard and showing no restraint. Look at that.
No restraint.
Full points.
None at all.
Looks like she lapped none. Looks like she lapped the other jammer.
Derby Dolls jammer getting recycled to the very back of the pack. It looks like
That was
Risa.
a nice hit from Bloodbath.
Yeah.
777 on Risa. And she's setting herself up for another. Oh, and she tries to call it off. And she calls it off. They let her.
Perfect. Yeah, that was a big recycle to the back of the pack for both of the jammers. You know, unfortunately not as a benefit score-wise because it happened to both of them.
She probably should have called it off a little bit sooner, noticing that she didn't get any extra points for that, but in the moment, you try.
Exactly, and generally a good rule is if you're ahead, you want to drag out the clock as long as possible because you're ahead for longer, so that gives the other team less opportunity to score.
And
holy smokes, there goes Hellcat
again. We've got the Okanagan Derby Dolls jammer. If you can't find her, she's in the penalty box. She stood with 10 seconds left, but you know what? Hellcat is taking full advantage of the time.
Yeah, so that's 5 points so far. She'll pick up another 5, hopefully call it off right away.
When she laps the penalty box, she does get a point for that opposing jammer, and they're not worth more. Wow,
that is that's some serious butt work by Scullywag there.
Down on her skate and right back up.
Hellcat not taking our cautious advice, and all the better for it. She hits the pack again to score another 4 points. Let's see.
She grabs.
There she goes.
her teammate there, Slay Her Moonshine. And that's totally appropriate in teammate playing, grabbing the other person and sort of propelling yourself off.
Wow.
If it's not an opponent, that's okay.
Find your friends, use your friends. You can't, nobody touches you like your teammate.
And Hellcat says no more.
Di Sharona doing a gentle skate by to the head ref, T-Bone Tessie, and indicating maybe there was some back blocking there. Do we think about that? No? Okay, well, I'm just saying.
Now, the skaters don't have any actual power, but they can definitely try and communicate their feelings.
Yeah, no, and you have to be really careful. In a game like this where we all know each other and it's, you know, we do the best we can to be as professional as possible. We do have to be careful of the way that we talk to the refs. Otherwise, you get insubordination, or yeah, I believe it's
There's a careful line.
Yeah, insubordination if you talk to the refs. So now Di is up there. She is the team captain, so she's up there with the coach, and they're talking to the head ref about the infraction. And that's fine. They came up in a respectful manner. But if you yell, "Hey ref, how about that back
bleep,
block?
bleep, bleep.
How about that bleep bleep ref?" Not good. All right, so that is the half. Right now we're at 93 for the visiting Derby Dolls in purple, and 145 for our Penticton Pistoleras.
Looks like the Pistoleras are already celebrating with some Timbits. I think it's a little early, but you know,
it's never too early for Timbits.
Treat yourself.
So here we are back after the half. We're just waiting for the girls to get warmed back up. They've taken 20 minutes to chill out and get their game together, get a pep talk from their coaches, discuss some strategy. And in just a few minutes, we'll be ready to go. So, hey, that's us. So we are going to get going in a couple of minutes here. We've got a score 93 to 145 for the Penticton Pistoleras. Still a pretty close game. So as we've seen before, that's like 2 jams worth.
It is not too late at all for the Derby Dolls.
No,
to,
we got
to take
30
a
minutes
win.
left. Exactly. So we'll see how much Red Bull they had in the locker rooms, how many energy drinks they had.
They have to wait until the end of the bout to indulge in the beer gardens, of course.
Yes. I think I always perform better after a beverage, but that is without skates on my feet. This is why they give me a microphone. Maybe they'll be rethinking that soon.
So they're lining up, getting ready for another jam, our first jam of this half. And we're starting with, you're probably familiar with her by now, 26 Hellcat for the Pistoleras.
And we're starting with a penalty already, so that's how you know it's roller derby. We got good refs out here, keeping track of everyone.
That's a penalty on a blocker for the Okanagan Derby Dolls.
Hellcat being called as lead jammer, about 20 feet behind the pack.
Just about to lap the other jammer for the Derby Dolls, 2013.
Derby Dolls doing a great job keeping the other jammer back. Oh, power jam for the Pistoleras. Good old PJ for the PP. Big hit from Hellcat, knocking down her opposing blockers, making it through for 5. To be a hard power jam for her because she, until just a moment ago, had 2 of her blockers. Wow.
And she goes right through the inside with that basically no opposition and calls it off.
Just as I was saying, it was going to be really hard for her because she had 2 of her blockers in the penalty box. So an occasion like that, it does speak volumes for the skills of the jammer, as well as how the defense is doing for the purple Derby Dolls.
And just how much there's going on at the track at one time. If you're a skater, you've got bodies all around you. It's really hard to stay focused, and it's really impressive when they do.
So we've got Risa back on the track. She was visiting the paramedics at the half, just getting checked out. She might have taken a bump to the noggin. Obviously, it has given her extraordinary derby powers. She grabs lead jammer.
Knocked down, but she hops right back up again. She's recycled, but it doesn't take her long to slide back into the pack. She got a heavy hit from 14, but gnarly. 14 was the one that fell on her knees, and Risa just skated right past her.
Big hit from Cruella DeVille.
There we go. We see Risa passing the opponent jammer while the opponent jammer was cycling back to the pack. A point on the opposing jammer isn't worth any more, except maybe a little bit of pride.
However, if you do pass the opposing jammer, if you do lap them, you do get an additional point. So you are able to pick up 1 additional point if you lap the other jammer. And that's been happening actually quite a lot because the Penticton's defense has been so strong. Their jammer has been getting lead, making it through the pack before the Derby Dolls jammer has a chance to even go through once. And then the Pistoleras jammer is picking up an extra 5th point. And of course, it feels great. So we got Brick Hithouse.
Ooh, against Bliss Craig, 1939 for the Pistoleras.
So the jam has started. They were just doing a little do-si-do there. You know, it's as much a mental game, an emotional game, as it is a physical one.
Absolutely. A lot of teamwork that goes on, and a lot of scary faces. Can do the trick.
A lot of immensely scary faces.
I mean, look at that scowl on Brick. She is determined to get through, and she does. And we've got a power jam for the Derby Dolls this time. It looks like the Pistoleras jammer is in the penalty box for a solid 30 seconds. And when you think of a jam as being no more than 2 minutes, 30 seconds is a lot to lose.
So we've got Brick picking up 5 points.
Got a strong formation from the Pistoleras. Triangle going on where the backward skating skater supports her teammates. She's allowed to touch her teammates and push them even while backwards skating, whereas if she was doing that to the opponent straight on, it would be a backwards block and a penalty. With 4 against 1, it's really amazing to see Brick try to push through this again. And we've got
tight wall with Uzi and Scullywag pushing together, keeping Brick back. Oh, it's a battle of butts.
But of course, the strong butt wins. And
Huge hit by number 001. That's Deadly Embrace. That was the scariest. That was the scariest hug I've ever seen. Yep,
very
totally
Deadly
legal.
Embrace.
The jammer tried to skate by her on the inside line, and Deadly said, "No, thank you. I would like you not to have my point," and just skated towards the inside and got in her way. So totally legal hit.
The official measure of a point score is when the jammer passes the hips of their opponent.
Yeah, so it's not just skates, it's not heads, it's not whatever part of your body gets in front. Jamming for the first time tonight, we've got 8-Bit Bandit.
She's a pickup for the Pistoleras, but she's probably developed a really good team rapport with them because she was a pickup for them at their last bout last month.
Yeah, and she did a great job last month and great job keeping her footing on that outside.
Beautiful outside pass, yeah.
And good call by 8-Bit Bandit. The Pistoleras in black.
In the last second there, we've got Pivot 808 going to the box for the Okanagan Derby Dolls, so they're going to be starting without her.
That's Born to Hula, and she's one of the skaters that will really be missed on the track. She's I've skated with her. She's a strong skater, and more than just being a strong skater, she's a strong leader. She has a sense of calm about her, and when you skate with her, you perform better because you're under her leadership.
That is so important, and that's probably why they pick her as pivot. In some ways, it's almost a more informal title. Got a little bit of dancing over there while the
Okanagan Derby Dolls picking up lead jammer, hitting the pack again on the scoring pass. Derby Dolls getting ready for Risa to hit the pack, but not before Grill as he copes.
Looks like
Calls off the jam, picks up
Risa managed to
points.
pick up 1 point before it was officially called off again. That's the 4th whistle when points no longer apply.
So we've got a pretty great turnout for the game tonight. It was a hot one out today. I think everyone's happy to be somewhere they can relax, watch some other people get warm and sweaty instead.
Yeah, it's pretty cool for us in here, but they are working up a sweat over there. It's amazing, unique scent, that Derby sweat scent.
Gorilla to kill, chases down Brick Hit House, doesn't quite catch up. Brick gets lead jammer for the Derby Dolls.
And she calls it off after making it swiftly through the pack. Jammer 26 for the Pistoleras didn't even manage to catch a point at the end there.
So we've got the gap closing here. So we've got the Derby Dolls. They finally reached the century mark. This was a couple of jams ago. And so 123 for the Derby Dolls, 179 for your hometown Pistoleras.
Jamming for the Pistoleras is their pickup again.
8-Bit Bandit.
Bandit, number 88. She almost lost her footing there, but she set it down, and she's skating fast, but close behind her is 4-1-2. Maybe we'll see a little jammer-on-jammer action.
8-Bit and Shady Lady actually skate on the same team with the Okanagan Roller Derby Association. Oh,
That's some pressure.
that's got to feel good.
Oh, Look at some hugging in the middle there.
Yeah.
We've got a bit of a pile up with the Derby dolls, but you can see those smiling faces. It's all in love.
Yeah, so what had happened, the ref was not doing the cha-cha by circling her fists together. It wasn't the cha-cha, it was actually an illegal procedure.
Is that illegal? Yeah, legal procedure.
So the Samantha Payne, who's just skating into the penalty box now, she had actually made contact with the jammer after the final whistle. So it was an illegal hit. So she'll serve her 30 seconds in the penalty box. But I know all is forgiven because Slam and Shady Lady, they have a long and friendly history. Uzi Koo.
Uzi is an amazing player because she might not take up a lot of room on the track, but she is swift, she is agile, and she still finds, she still manages to get in your way. Plus, bony bruise is a bad bruise.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, she is a pointy lady. So we've got Penticton with lead jammer. Oh, get bumped out on the outside and recycled all the way to the back of the pack by, I believe that's Hula. It is not Hula, it's High Impulse. Some great defense going on right now. Penticton getting recycled to the back of the pack. Too many times, that was too many times for them, so they called off the jam. Was not worth the effort. Hula was on her.
See the alternate captain having some conversations with our ref.
Wow, okay, we haven't seen this yet this game. The blockers are lining up close to the pivot line instead of all the way back. I don't know whose decision that was, but the Derby Dolls are definitely benefiting from it. And there goes Venom to the box, the pivot. It's almost like they forget to block when some of those jammers go by. They just go through so fast and they know exactly what to do. And then sometimes you get a one-on-one battle.
That was a beautiful apex jump from your favorite Brick Hit House, and she calls it off.
That was great. That deserved a high five. Yes. So in roller derby, you can leave your skates, you can jump, you can be a little bunny rabbit all over the track if you want, but you can't make contact. You can't leap into the air and try to hit someone. That's commonly known as a flying squirrel, and we've seen a couple of those spins out on the first corner here. Wow. I think we had a good pick on the front line. Oh, Corella to kill. Picks up a little too much speed, but yeah, wonderful apex jump.
Wow. Number 412, Shady Lane for the Derby Dolls, is rocking her lead jam.
That's wonderful. Look at this. I don't know if you can see it at home, but the smile on her face.
Again, you can tell she's having a lot of fun.
I think it just got brighter in here with that wonderful smile. Let's see if she can do it again. Wow, wonderful. She's pinballing through the track. Amazing.
And she breaks out again.
Yeah. Corella to kill. Also picking up 4 points. Great call from Shady Lady. That was a wonderful jam. And I was actually talking to her before the game, and she said, you know, I'm worried that they're going to knock me down, and I'm not going to want to get up. And Shady, I hope you're watching this in the delayed taping because you're doing wonderfully.
That's the thing, you are going to get hit. You are going to fall down in derby. It's inevitable. It's about getting back up again, and I think it's a great analogy.
It's a good analogy for life. Not to get too philosophical and bring us down, but yeah, the tenacity of these skaters is just amazing. And of course, with that last jam, it brings our score to 194 to about 148, still for the Pistoleras.
Pistoleras jammer, 26 Hellcat, broke through the front of the pack again. Doesn't look like she's lead jammer though, so she might have broken through the pack and not entirely legally passing all the players. Oh, and there she goes in for a penalty.
Yeah.
So even if she was lead jammer, she's not now. Following close behind her is that Di Sharona
That is Di Sharona.
7-1-7 again into the box.
Yeah, but good hustle. You got to serve those 30 seconds, but it doesn't start until you put your butt in that seat. So the more hustle you've got, the quicker you can get back on the track.
Because every second counts when you're off the track, absolutely.
So Penticton did get lead jammer, so of course now losing that status. Losing that status as Hellcat went to the box.
Means we're in for a 2-minute jam. Those can be exhausting. Got Hellcat back on the track, and she quickly passes her opponent jammer. Except she's called again for what looks like a back block.
You're right. I didn't see the
blocking
offense
action.
I didn't see that wonderful hot back blocking action, but I trust our friends in stripes.
The thing about the Zebra team, the ref team, is they, at the end of the game, are always the winners.
And great jam by Rosie Coates. This is the first time I've seen her play, and she seems like a very steady, she keeps her energy level the same throughout the jam.
Absolutely.
So she's just constantly hammering against the walls in front of her.
Endurance is super important in this sport.
So a lot of skaters come from basically no sports background, or typically an individual sports background, something like tennis or skiing or running or biking, not necessarily team sports. So there was a couple of years ago, there was a survey that was put out by the Women's Flat Track Association, and they found that most of the previous sports were not team sports. So it's really interesting that a large fraction or a large proportion of the skaters who do participate in Derby have not really ever had any previous experience with team sports.
It is a unique experience. It's a completely unique sport in the community spirit that it's sort of, I don't want to say forced, that's a negative, but you have to build it from the ground up. It's not well funded, it's all grassroots, and it really, you find your place in it. There's a place for everyone in it, as you can see. Very complex means you need the small and the fast, the big and the heavy hitters. Basically, whatever you have to offer, they can turn it into something useful on the track.
Absolutely. Like, you don't even have to be a good skater. If you're willing to put in the effort and willing to listen to your teammates and try your best, that can make you more valuable on the track than a showboater. And it's been a long time since I've been to a game where there's been some unnecessary showboating. I mean, it's great for the audience, but for the team, it can be frustrating. But you're absolutely right. And roller derby, typically we look for a couple of small sponsors to help us fund our uniforms, to help us pay for our practice spaces. And on top of that, each skater often pays a monthly fee in order to participate, to pay for those practice spaces. Of course, they have to buy their own gear and everything like that.
Very self-funded.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a really strong DIY ethic. So, you know, we fix our own skates, we run our own fundraisers, we put on our own productions. And tonight we're so lucky to have Shaw here with us, like trying to expose the community.
Amazing.
Yeah. So we're really fortunate to have this opportunity. So thank you, Shaw.
Now, if you're interested in joining yourself, but you've never even picked up a pair of skates, that's okay. When we say you don't have to be good at skating, we mean you can know nothing about the sport, and we'll welcome you with open arms, because that's the kind of group that you have here, as long as you're willing to learn, like you said, and willing to put some love and some effort into it. then you can do it, and it's completely worth it. They'll show you from the ground up. I know my first practice, I couldn't stand without a bench that they kind of helped me with. And I wouldn't lie if I said that my next practice I could stand without a bench either, but they worked with me. And if you're interested, even without participating on skates, if you want to be involved in the middle, helping track penalties or announcing to our wonderful audience. Most leagues, including the Pistoleras and their South Okanagan Roller Derby Association League, are on Facebook. So it's a simple search for Penticton Pistoleras or South Okanagan Roller Derby Association, and there are easy ways to get involved. We don't hide in the shadows. I mean, the uniforms would make that hard.
Exactly. All that fluorescent purple and bright orange does make it hard. All right, so after that official review that we totally glossed over, it looks like, is it a power jam? It is a power jam for the Okanagan Derby Dolls.
Absolutely.
So we've got Brick back on there.
The perfect choice to take full advantage of this power jam. And that's exactly what I mean. You might not look at her and expect her to be so graceful on skates, but she is fantastic with her strength, her power. Look, and she just leaped over that obstacle. Now, it's totally okay to fall down in roller derby. That's legal. It's going to happen. But if you end up tripping people while you're down there, if you don't fall small and huddle in, that's a penalty too.
Great jam again for the Derby Dolls, picking up a few points while denying the Pistoleras any. So we've got Pistoleras now passing the 200-point mark. We've got 13 minutes left in the rest of the jam. So less than 40 points, 35 points difference. Again, that's two strong jams for the Derby Dolls. So it's really anyone's game. And the way that the Derby Dolls have been coming back in the past 10 minutes, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lead change. Got Risa for the Pistoleras in black, getting lead jammer. Shady Lady getting pushed to the outside while Risa cuts through like a hot knife through butter. Oh, nice bump by Scullywag. Got the Derby Dolls at the front, trying to hold back Risa.
But they cannot do it. Daisharona falls to her knee, and we've got some more. So there was a penalty there. Looks like a forearm block. Was that on our jammer? Oh, wow. Yeah. This is a rare occasion. We have both jammers going to the box. So what's going to happen is you're going to have the first jammer sit. And for the duration of, correct me if I'm wrong, the duration of the time that she sits, the next jammer that comes and sits, she will be released.
And the other jammer should be getting up by now, too.
The other jammer should be getting up.
She should be getting up.
Oh, right, because Risa only sat for 3 seconds, the other jammer should only be sitting for that same duration as well. We're having a bit of an officiating mistake here. But again, it's a very DIY. We're all learning, we're all growing, and none of us are professionals here.
Oh, huge hit on the inside line. Shady, huge smile on her face despite getting a knock A over TK there. Beautiful.
Some endorphins must really be working in her.
Absolutely. So huge hit as she tried to jump the apex again. So we're going to see both jammers in the pack. Risa going right through. Beautiful teamwork by the Pistoleras, keeping the Derby Doll jammer back.
See, you can use your team. Oh, and we're called off. You can use your teammate almost as a weapon. It is totally fine for you to shove your teammate, as you saw. I think it was Ramrod and maybe Oh, let's see that hit again.
Yeah, we're going to see if we can get that on replay here. That was a huge hit. So it looks like we've... Let's see here. So Shady Lady comes through on the inside line. All right. All right. So it looks like we missed that replay. Oh, wow. So 8-bit for the Pistoleras, jamming, makes it through like a bat out of hell. I don't think I've used that metaphor yet.
That one yet? Ooh.
Nice. Oh my goodness. Got a lot of one-on-one action there. So that's a low block. That number 83
I'm
is
seeing
going
some
on board.
hands in, some faces there too. Now that's not okay. Oh, and we've got 1701. Is that?
That's Ruby. Oh no, that's not Ruby Roughhouser.
No, she's not playing in this game. But it.
She's reffing for this game. That's 1701 Tannibal Lecter.
You see her flying down into the pack, and then another girl falling on top of her. It is a messy sport indeed.
Yeah, and speaking of refs, I think we've mentioned before, but it does bear repeating. Thank you so much to all the refs and all of the non-skating officials. Without you, we would have no game. And we'd just be a bunch of girls skating around the track, hitting each other. And big thanks to, I believe we've got St. John's Ambulance here doing our first aid tonight.
There is a lot of work that goes into these bouts, and we appreciate everyone involved, including the audience.
And of course, it's all amateur. Some people are compensated for travel, but no one gets paid. Whoa, nice. Sneaking by on the outside line, Hellcat calls it off. All right, so we've got, oh boy, so we've had about 35 unanswered points so far for the Pistoleras. So they've made a, I don't want to call it a comeback, but they've made their position known.
Giving a bit of a buffer for their lead, but it's not too late for the Derby Dolls at all.
No, absolutely not. I mean, we still have 7.5 minutes left.
That's a lot of jams. Often you'll see skaters regularly in the aftermath of a fall raising their arms up, and it's just sort of this indication like, hey, not me, I didn't do anything illegal, I'm not involved.
Shady Lady.
Beautiful.
That was amazing.
Jump right
That was great.
down the center line, and she calls it off. Great perception of the track, great track awareness, because the Penticton Pistoleras jammer was just about to make it in and make some points, and she got cut off.
Yeah, she's been doing a great job in this second half, so she's been jamming more and more. I think we've seen her just about every other jam or every third jam. So she's really come into that confidence, and she's really having fun with it now.
It can be really tough for a team, though, because you can have a great jammer. You send her out over and over. She's going to get tired. You're going to wear her out really fast. It's difficult being the ball, essentially.
Yeah.
So you have to have a few good jammers and sort of cycle them in and out.
Yeah, exactly. It's imagine a game of soccer. How do you think the ball feels afterwards? That's sort of how the jammer feels.
You can go ask them. They know how.
Nice resistance from Risa Lightning, but she's got Brick Hithouse caught on her tail.
This is a beautiful pair to see jamming. They're both very strong. Oh, and she calls it off. She doesn't want to try that fight.
Yeah. Strategic jam. We got a 0-0 score on that. Last pass.
They often say that for the lead team, a 0-0 is a win in a jam, because you're winning, your opponent doesn't get any points. That's good.
Yeah, you're not losing, so it's a win.
More life lessons.
I think I'm going to write a book on roller derby philosophy after this. I'm inspired. So I think this might be one of the first times tonight that we're seeing high impulse jamming for the Okanagan Derby Dolls. And after her.
And the pack hasn't even left their starting line.
They haven't even passed
nice
the first
slow
corner
pack, and she's taking advantage of it. beautiful lap from 8-Bit Bandit there.
Yeah, picking up that 5th point for passing Shady Lady, who's the Derby Dolls jammer.
We've got great defense. It honestly looks like the Pistoleras are holding the whole team back. And the jammer, I don't even think she's made it out of her first lap.
She is not. She's still on her initial pass.
That initial pass is really important, but until she passes the pack, makes it out the other side, she is not scoring points. And she tried to go for the apex, but that apex was just too busy. 88-Bit is resetting and going in for the
Oh, Mylanta.
pass again.
Another 5 points.
So she's passing their opponent jammer every time she's doing this as well. We've got a whistle call. That was who we refer to, Ruby Roughhauser, one of our beautiful refs, calling jammer Shady Lane 412 off the track. And because the jam is ending there, we're going to have Shady Lane starting in the penalty box.
Yeah, just to add insult to injury, Shady Lady not making her initial pass. What a fight, though. So she's going to have 30 seconds to regroup. That was a wonderful wall that the Pistoleras put up, though. It was really hard. And the Derby Dolls were so occupied in trying to stop the other jammer that they were not having any luck trying to help their own jammer.
Yeah, it's really important. You have to decide, are we going to defend against their team or support our jammer? Sometimes your jammer just needs more support. Now we're seeing a timeout here. We've got Coach Doug with the Armstrong ladies. Looks like he has some issues, although he's smiling about them.
Just Doug.
Just Doug. It's kind of interesting to see the captains. They are, I find they're often the lawyers for the team. They really get in there and they have to defend their players because, again, the refs are all humans. They make mistakes too.
And it's actually one of the rules of roller derby that not just any skater can come and speak to the refs. I mean, in passing, you can be like, well, thanks very much, ref, for that penalty. I shall go and serve it now. I appreciate your hard work for what you do.
Thank you for pointing out my errors.
I think that's how every conversation between a skater and a ref goes.
Sir/madam.
Yes, sir/madam. To whom it may concern, thank you for the penalty. Regards, Shady Lady. No, she's done really good with penalties so far. I'm just joking.
So who then can talk to our refs? Who gets the authority to call their actions into question?
So that's just the captain as well as the alternate captain. So in order to talk to the refs, you need to be wearing that C or that A somewhere on your body. So often it'll be the captain, who is a skater, and then their alternate will be the coach because they're the ones that are able to watch the action.
Wow. Are we at the... No, we've got 147 left
are we in
on
Brazil?
the clock. And it's coming up. I'm allowed to be confused, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's roller derby if you weren't confused. So last time, it was May of 2015, the Pistoleras played the Okanagan Derby Dolls, and the score difference was 96 points in favor for the home team Pistoleras. And as you'll see, with 3 minutes left on the clock, we're just about at that same spread here.
So was that noise I heard perhaps just a very enthusiastic viewer in our audience?
I do believe
blowing?
I do believe it was a vuvuzela or vuvuzela, depending on your region. So now with this an official review, I do apologize. I'm not sure what they are attempting to review.
All I'm really paying attention is to Lone Shark.
Yes.
Showing off a little bit of his skating. See, that's one way that men can get involved. There are leagues and teams set up for men in particular. However, if as a gentleman you want to get involved, we always need more referees. And you can show off your skating skills like this gentleman. He's been with us for a long time. And
Lone Shark is actually a skate dancer along with head ref T-Bone Tessie. I don't think they're partners, but they have done individually ice dancing and skate dancing, and that's where they get their smooth moves from. And as far as gentlemen getting involved, a lot of the leagues in the area are all-inclusive, so if you want to practice with the team, it doesn't matter if you're not female, but you do have to pass certain qualifications. Everyone has to pass certain qualifications to make sure that they're a safe skater. So it's basically a safety and a fitness test to make sure that you can skate with the team and not be a hazard on the track. One of the only teams that I'm aware of in British Columbia is the Vancouver Murder, and they're a men's roller derby league. So, and it's funny, you think the game would be the same, but men's roller derby is so fast. It is really NASCAR on skates.
Well, it's completely different how they hold themselves, where the hits are going to be made.
Exactly. They've got such a different center of gravity than women. They've got a higher center of gravity, and that, of course, impacts how they skate and how they'll make contact with the others on the track.
One thing you hear a lot, it's sometimes drilled into your brain as a derby player, is get low. It is so important for the ladies to kneel down, squat down, lower that center of gravity, and stay in control of their skating.
Of course, we're back in the game here, just a few minutes left in the period.
We've got a penalty on Born to Hula, 8:08.
And of course, another power jam for the Pistoleras. Hellcat picking up 5 points. Shady Lady standing in the penalty box. She'll be released pretty soon.
But she just scored a solid 5 points, Hellcat.
That was beautiful. And then Shady Lady tried to follow suit. And it's drawn back into the back, recycled to the back of the pack. Crowd is getting really excited. These last couple of minutes are amazing. Oh, great job, Shady Lady.
Beautiful hip hit from Uzi. Q, number 45 on the Pistoleras. And that jammer just keeps going down. She keeps getting backed up, of course. But she's not making it through. She's not passing those hips. And I don't even think she's made it through her official pass.
She did not. That was initial. She got about 30 seconds there to try and get through her initial.
I got you doing it. Spreading.
Her initial pass. But I seriously think she's got springs in her knees. She was knocked down for a second.
Bouncing back up from every hit, absolutely. Not just a ball, she's a bouncy ball.
About a minute and a half on the jam. Pistoleras are in a skate 1 blocker short.
So they were putting out some really solid jammers in the last few jams. We've got number 13, Risa Lightning, against your favorite Brick Hit House, and she is just shoving her way through.
And I think that's the most opposition that she's seen all game here.
I think they're starting to really see that they just need to put everyone against her. And oh, what are we calling?
All right.
I think.
So less than a minute left in the jam. So this is likely to be the last or the second last jam of the game.
Do we have a score? I'm seeing
we do have a score.
286 for the Pistoleras against 188 for the Derby Dolls. Now, I know we're saying that you can always pick it up at the end, but that's quite a reach.
I have not seen a 100-point jam yet, but I'm always open to new experiences, and I believe in the Derby Dolls and their ability to get 100 points. Oh, great moves by High Impulse.
Pulse is skating right past Fallen Uzi, however, Pistoleras jammer.
And Cruella de Kill for the Pistoleras in black. Making it through. This is one of the first jams. She hasn't jammed too terribly much. Oh, I saw a little attempt at an elbow there. That was a bit nasty, but Cruella paid no mind.
Now, if they don't actually make the hit and it wasn't like terribly dangerous intentions, they won't get that penalty called on them. You have to see results to have an illegal action.
Yeah, that's right. So that elbow didn't really move her, so it was not a penalty in the mind of the ref.
got a bit of a stall happening with just a lot of bodies moving.
Oh,
But
wonderful.
she burst through the track at the end there, 101.
Corella to kill, picking up 5 points. She's recently recovered from a broken collarbone at a tournament last summer from being just too hardcore.
Wow, you would never be able to tell. She's going out there fearlessly and skating right through the pack yet again.
Wonderful.
Looks like there's another solid 5 points for her.
High impulse getting recycled to the very back of the pack, stuck behind 1995. That was a good year, unless you were music.
Looks like another Grand Slam.
Wow, yes, Grand Slam, a term that we have not used yet. Grand Slam, picking up that extra point for lapping the jammer. So I think,
Oh, we're counting it down.
wonderful, that is the end of the game.
Beautiful, solid last jam for the Pistoleras. I don't know how many points they picked up there, but you can see how they can really close gaps with that kind of action.
That was pretty excellent. So unofficial final score is a whopping 300 to 11 for the Pistoleras to 190 for the Derby Dolls. We've got the rest just double checking the scores there.
Regardless,
Unless someone carried the wrong one, I think we know who the winner is. So another big win for the Pistoleras. This is the second one this season so far, I believe.
absolutely amazing. Now they're skating on the track to celebrate. However,
So-
you'll see smiles on the Okanagan Derby Dolls. They
Wonderful.
had
At the
a
head of the
heck of a
line there,
time.
at the head of the line there, we've got Blitzkrieg, 1939.
And then
Captain
you
of the
see them
Pistoleras.
going out and shaking hands and just thanking each other. There's a lot of love in this. No hate left over. You leave that on the track. You get that out of your system with the hips. And at the end, it's just high fives, good times, and maybe a bit of purple the next day.
Absolutely, a lot of Trameal and Rub A535 the next day.
And then we see some of our viewers, some of our audience coming out. It's a really, really accepting, open group of people. If you want to come say hey, tell them you're your favorite skater. Love it. Very accessible bunch of people.
What a wonderful game. The Derby Dolls had some really wonderful jammers, but unfortunately, the defense for the Pistoleras was just so strong that their jammers got stuck behind those big walls all night long. All right. Well, that was a wonderful game. Thanks so much, Grimm Reefer, for
Thank
announcing
you.
with me. Thanks so much to Shaw and the Penticton Pistoleras, the South Okanagan Roller Derby Association.
Hope you had a great time watching. It's just as much fun live. So keep an eye on our Facebook page for more games.
And if you're not sure about the rules, reach out to a local roller derby league. We're always happy to explain, always happy to take the time. And if you think you might be interested, just like you said earlier, Grimm, if you think you might be interested in getting involved in the league, do look on Facebook for Okanagan Roller Derby. You'll find the Penticton Roller Derby. You will find Kelowna Roller Derby. You will find the Okanagan Shoe Swap, which is based out of Armstrong. And they are more than happy to get you involved, and we would be more than happy to help you get involved and to have you join us.
It is everywhere. And you know what? If it's not where you are, reach out and start something, because that's how it all begins. It's all up to the players and their friends and the family for support.
And now everything's all over but the team photos. So thanks, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. And thank you to Shaw. Thanks to Penticton Pistoleras, the Okanagan Derby Dolls from Armstrong. I'm Bulletbelle, and joining me is Grimm Reefer. And we will see you next time. Thank you.